Welcome to the Lawson and Gift podcast. Make sure to hit that like button, share the videos, and subscribe. Really good year, Lawson, so far for the 49ers.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of things we weren't expecting them to do. Are they the best team in the NFC?
No, I know people are probably saying I'm stubborn on this, and this Emmanuel Sanders signing was absolute brilliance. Well, it was a trade, but everyone knows what I mean. But it was absolute brilliance, and like we were talking about in the over-under picks, I know they all wanted that prize, that 10, that dime piece type receiver. They wanted Odell. They wanted Antonio Brown during the offseason. They wanted a trade for Michael Thomas before he got the contract extension. I understand that. But sometimes it's better to get a quality person who's a 7 or an 8 at using a woman reference. And I think that's what the 49ers did here. And I think this will put them over the edge. Now I'm seriously considering them as best team in the NFC. But what the Saints have done this year is too much. And we got Michael Strahan saying the Vikings are the best team in the NFC. I can't go there. But does anyone, like let's say the 49ers and Vikings play tomorrow, does anyone really think the 49ers would roll and steamroll through the Minnesota Vikings like they did the Carolina Panthers? I'm not there. I think they're the second best team in the NFC, but I think it's a little bit flagrant to say they're better than the Saints right now.
Yeah, I think the Vikings definitely have to be in the fold and in the mix when you talk about one of the best teams in the NFC because of how physical they play. And if you can't match up to them, their grit and the strength, you're not going to win the game. They are dangerous to a lot of teams. So the Vikings, I would say, probably third or fourth best team in the NFC. But I still think the Saints are the best over the 49ers.
Yeah, well, and then we can go position by position. I mean, you start with quarterback. Man, I've had my complaints about Drew Brees. The arm has went down, but it's not like a Phillip Rivers situation where the ball hangs up there like a punt for 8 seconds when he tries to throw 35 plus. Drew Brees still put zip on that football. Drew Brees is a mastermind. And then you get to the run game. Okay, we know 49ers might have the best run game in this league, but has anyone seen the Saints this year? Your boy Latavius Murray going off with Kamara. That's the definition of thunder and lightning. And honestly, at this point, give me the Saints run game. I know the 49ers got a better scheme, but give me that Saints run game. Give me Ryan Ramczyk blowing people up over a bunch of average offensive lineman that the 49ers possess.
Shanahan is great. Yeah, he's done a lot, and you're right. It makes it, the scheme makes it look better than what it is if we're looking at stats. I agree with that to an extent. But yeah, give me the Saints for those reasons, Lawson. That offensive line for the Saints is damn near complete. It's one of the best offensive lines in the league. You have the star talent at running back. I mean, yeah, Tevin Coleman is good, but Kamara is great.
And we haven't seen anything from Tevin Coleman this year, and that's tipping our fedora to Shanahan. Me and you never lost faith in him.
Yeah.
But one thing you have to remember about the Shanahan scheme is, Mike Anderson, Orlando's Gary have gotten 1,000-yard seasons in this scheme. Listen, when it gets to the playoffs, especially against how physical the Saints front seven is, it's going to be hard to pound it.
Yeah, and I think I can almost give it like an even grade there because both D-lines are playing really good, but I think where the Saints got them is the secondary.
But when I go to the defense, though, I think San Fran's defense is better. But you're right. Saints have a way better secondary. But then again, it's hard to expose people like Akella Witherspoon and Richard Sherman when you're rushing 4 and both D Ford are getting to the quarterback in like 3.5 seconds. But eventually, like we might see this week, I mean, I might have to change my mind this week. But let's see what Russell Wilson does against the secondary. I need to see this before I fully buy in to the 49ers defense being elite. It's a very good defense. The D-line's the best in the league right now. But is it elite? Not there.
Well, I'm just saying, I think that's where the Saints have a little bit of an edge in the secondary because if you can, now that's a big if, neutralize Bosa and D Ford, then I think you can air it out.
But is that possible?
right now, it's not easy to do that. Bosa is playing out of his mind.
In order to do that, you have to run the ball and have like 50-50 run-pass balance.
There's another question, and I think we'll probably agree. Is Bosa the best pass rusher right now?
I have to go there. I'm not one for rookie worship. Me and you are really excited about this from the get-go. I guess he is. And then you pair him with D Ford, and then also the 49ers are getting a nice push in that middle. But I do got to give a little bit of credit to the Saints, too. One thing that surprised me, okay, we know Rankins is pretty damn good, especially when he rushes in the 3-5 technique on third downs. Cam Jordan's been one of the most underrated players in this league for 5, 6, 7 years, however many years you want to count. But, man, I did not expect Davenport to come in and play well. I did not expect that.
He's having a really good year. There's no doubt about it. I think the Saints got him by a little bit, Lawson, but they're right there, though. But you're right. Let's see, this 49ers defense evolve. Maybe the secondary is a little bit better than I'm giving it credit for. Still some things we have to see.
But one thing I do like about the Saints, I feel like both linebacking cores are kind of the weakness of their teams. Let's be realistic. But, man, when you think about it, though, the Saints play the most physical brand of football in this league, in my opinion. And they don't have those elite linebackers, but those men will put their body on the line for every inch. And that's why I like the Saints linebacking core. 49ers, I'm not as amused with, and it's kind of easy to look good at linebacker for the 49ers when you have Bosa and D Ford and a good DT rotation up in front of you. So that's where I'm at with that. And when we go to skill positions like wide receivers, tight ends, give me the Saints still. Although it's tough though, because you add Emmanuel Sanders, him and Kittle, they're going to eat. But, Michael Thomas, some of the dudes Saints have, give me that.
Kamara out of the backfield receiving, and, obviously he's a little hurt right now, but, he's going to get – they need him for the end stretch, and I think that's why they're saving him for that more so than anything. Yeah. But then one other thing, too. We talked about the 49ers secondary. We mentioned it briefly, but I think the Saints have them there because if you look at Lattimore –
he's an elite. He's a top 10 corner. And if anyone thinks Richard Sherman is even a top 20 corner right now, you guys are delusional. And you guys have to understand why me and Giff always talk about defensive line, and that's usually firstly how we judge a defense. They're a very good defense because of that defensive line, not because of anything else. Sorry.
Absolutely.
And the safety core is also weak as well.
It is. So if they go up, like you're right, let's see like the Russell Wilson thing. Let's see what they do. But I really do believe that if they play a team that can at least somewhat neutralize Bosa and a quarterback can stand back there for a little bit, I think they could really pick apart the defense.
And me and you have always liked D Ford, but he hasn't been this isn't the best version of D Ford I've seen. Season's still young, and like you said, teams are you got to control Bosa first. Because he can hurt you more ways. D Ford's strictly speed rush. Bosa's hitting people with bull rushes, inside spin moves, then hits you with the speed rush. He's got people just gasping at straws, like chasing clouds, chasing air at this point. But D Ford hasn't been as dominant as he was in previous years. That's one thing I'm watching. Is he going to start going off, or is he going to have an above-average season by his standards?
And I'm going to bring up another element, too. And obviously, I'm not saying Jimmy G is bad or anything like that. That would be stupid for me to say that. I just think, come playoff time in big games, you got Drew Brees, obviously, who's been there, done that. I don't know. I've ever seen him choke. We've seen Jimmy G struggle at times. Yeah. I'm wondering when we're going to see that again.
Gaff.
He's playing good now, but...
You're right. No, you're 100%. He's not a top 10 quarterback for me. Me and you have always liked Jimmy G. But he's not a top 10 quarterback. And I don't know why everyone was spurging out about his game against Arizona. That was really the first dominant game he's had all year. Geff, I'm going to say something right now that's going to hurt 49ers fans' feelings. I could see them finishing with 13, 14 wins, but be 1-out in the playoffs.
Yeah, I can see that happening too. The secondary, one reason Jimmy G, possibly another reason, and that O-line.
I was quite sure about it before, but you add Emmanuel Sanders, that's like the perfect tonic at the perfect time. It's just one of those moves by John Lynch that we've loved. The big brain John Lynch. Mm-hmm. It's been a great symbiosis between him and Shanahan. But Jimmy G, we got to see more. I'm not going to spurge out because of Arizona Cardinals game.
No, I'm not either. And I'm just saying, we've seen the turnovers, we've seen the stagnation before. Right now, everything's going good, and everybody can jump on the bandwagon. But we can't be too quick to forget what we've seen before.
Subscribe, hit the like button, share the videos. The Lawson and Gift Podcast.